How's it going, folks? I'm Graeme Boyd, Xbox Live's AceyBongos, and when I'm not supporting Aberdeen Football Club, I'm listening to the Party Chat podcast.
Xbox on.
Game on, baby! Wow! Let's do this.
All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Party Chat podcast. I'm this week's host, Uncle Jessy. I am back. Hopefully not forgotten. Maybe forgotten. I don't know. But
who's this guy again?
Exactly.
What's he doing on the
Exactly.
podcast?
And I'm already laughing. By the way, while I was on leave, here, let's call it that, my wife was like, "Hey, have you read the reviews of the podcast? Everyone says you laugh too much." And I said, "Oh, well, maybe I'll work on that. We'll see." But probably not. I'll probably be laughing throughout this whole thing as well. It's a fun podcast. With us this week is Carina. How are you doing, Carina?
I'm great. How are you guys?
Oh, just fine and dandy. And as usual, it's Rhys. Delicious of the cheese. Rhys.
The guy you just can't get rid of.
I know. Well, we finally got rid of Ross. So, I mean, that guy. Actually, Ross will be joining us later in the podcast. We're very excited. We have a interview with Graeme Boyd, AceyBongos, over on the Xbox team. We're very excited to be chatting with him again, and this was actually my first time getting to chat with the gentleman, and it's a fun one. So make sure to stay tuned for that later in the episode. So, I'm interested. What have you guys been playing?
What have I been playing? I have been playing... Oh, I did a stream of Viva Pinata, so I got back into that after the interview.
That was great.
That was pretty fun. And also, I've been playing an old favourite called Don't Starve. I think it's coming to the Xbox, actually.
What's that?
I think it's on Xbox.
Is it on now?
I think Don't Starve is on the Xbox.
Is it starve, as in like I'm starving to eat something?
Yeah. It's basically a survival game.
Huh.
And the goal is not to starve.
Yeah. It's really blank as a game. You literally just get landed in some sort of map, and it's just a randomly generated map, so you don't know what'll happen. And there isn't instructions. It doesn't tell you how to play. You just figure it out.
So, I mean, what's the premise of this? Are you finding stuff to cook up and eat, or are you hunting things, or are you
a bit of both? You essentially, obviously, need food. You've got three things. So you've got your health, your food. So obviously, if you starve, you die. And your insanity, and also depending on the character you pick to start with, can depend on what happens. Like I always pick Willow, who's she's known as the fire starter, but you've got to be careful because she randomly occasionally sets things alight, which is okay up until she sets your own items alight, and then you panic. Because you might have spent like hours trying to collect all these items so you can build something, and then she just sets it all alight.
That actually sounds pretty cool.
And it's like isometric, right? Like top down.
Oh, okay, I was going to ask what's the style of game. So that sounds interesting. So Rhys, you said you think it's on Xbox now?
I'm almost certain. It's like the style is sort of like this really creepy sort of cartoon style. It reminds me a bit of that guy who's like best friends with Johnny Depp, the director.
Tim Burton.
Tim Burton.
Yes, definitely that type of style.
Like early Tim Burton's work.
Yeah, that's actually a good description.
Looks like it is. Yeah, it is available on the Xbox.
You're playing on PC, right?
Yeah. I'll probably get it on Xbox though. I've always been a fan of the original, and then I've been playing Don't Starve Together, which is you can co-op with friends, but they have different versions. So you can do one where you're against each other and you can actually attack each other, or you can play together and try and survive the world, and you just send your friends off on missions while, one of you collects rocks while the other collects food. Different things.
Good old rocks.
I know, I was like, I have all the items, rocks. No, it gets better, because obviously the more days that go along, the harder it gets. Get more animals. The werewolves are always annoying. And when winter comes, that's it. If you're not prepared, you'll just die.
Sounds like a very interesting game. Definitely gonna have to check it out.
Yeah. So that's a pretty stark contrast, Viva Pinata to Don't Starve.
Actually, yeah, I'm actually quite the opposite.
Polar opposites.
Funny enough, I don't think I've ever played Viva. Actually, no, sorry. I tried playing Viva Pinata. Easy enough to say. On the 360. Wasn't it Games with Gold not too long ago? I tried playing it and I just didn't give it enough of a chance. I'll have to jump back in there and try that out because I've just heard overwhelmingly amazing things about that game.
It requires a certain mindset.
Yeah.
Like, the game doesn't really have much gameplay, to be honest with you. It scratches that collector's itch, that sort of same sort of game like people who like city builders and farming simulators probably would really enjoy Viva Pinata.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So Rhys, I'm going to ask you, what are you playing, man?
This week I have been playing quite a bit of actually Battleborn again.
I saw you online playing Battleborn, and I was going to ask you about that.
Because, well, I was curious about what they'd done with this whole free-to-play thing, and also the biggest deciding factor was my girlfriend, actually, wanting to get back into it. She loves Battleborn. She was missing her favorite character, so I had to go back in.
It's a co-op title, right?
Yeah, exactly. Well, not necessarily. It has two different modes, essentially. There's PvP, which is basically like a classic MOBA style game. So there's 3v3 or 4v4, 5v5 or 4v4, I can't remember. And then of course there's co-op multiplayer, which is up to 4 players, and that's like imagine like the Destiny raids, like that sort of difficult, slightly different every time sort of thing you play. Each level of the quote unquote campaign is like a Destiny style raid, basically, with bosses that have mechanics, and you co-op together to beat those. So we got back into that, played a bit of Battleborn. It's fun as always. And I also tried some of this month's game with gold. I played Grow Up. From Ubisoft. That game is adorable as hell. And it's such a chill game. Like, nothing can hurt you, nothing can bother you, and you just do your thing. Like, have either of you played it? Do you guys know what it's about?
Yeah, but I was hoping.
Okay, it's a sequel, so it's not really spoilers here, but you play a little robot dude named Bud, and your mom is the ship, and she crashes, and it's exploded to bits. And you get stranded on this little planet, and you have to find all the bits of Mom and put her back together. And Mom is on the moon, so you have to get from the planet's surface to the moon, and the only way you can do that is to climb. So obviously you can't just climb to the moon, so what you have to do is grow these giant plants called star plants, and you climb up the plants. So the game is based on, well, it's like really physics-based, and you climb stuff. And the whole planet is like fully modeled, like round, and you just climb and explore, and you get like a glider, and you can glide along, and you can parachute, and it's just a really chilled out game. It has a pretty decent physics as well. I managed to actually put myself into orbit.
Oh, That's interesting.
Okay, so you can turn into a ball, and when you're a ball, you roll faster, and I was like halfway between the moon and the planet, and I jumped and turned into a ball. And as I was falling like toward the planet, I hit escape velocity, and instead of like crashing into the ground, I slingshotted myself out into space again, and then of course came back around, and I eventually settled into this circular orbit. I even got an achievement for doing it by mistake, so someone thought that was a good idea.
That's pretty cool.
So yeah, if you want a game that you can chill out, really good for kids as well, because it's like non-violent, it's just cute, and it's just really chill. Really nice music too, actually. And I have also been playing Snake Pass.
I was gonna ask. I saw you posting about that online. I think on Twitter. Was it Twitter?
This game is Satan. Okay, so it looks cute and cuddly and friendly.
It looks fun, man.
But it is evil. It is pure evil, and that's why it is Satan. It is so difficult. Like, to be honest with you, it's almost too difficult to be fun.
Really?
If you're going for full completion, it's got to be one of the most frustrating games ever made. Even if you just try and finish the levels, it is hard as balls. Like, it's fun because you have to control the snake, and it's not like so you have to really get used to the controls. It's like playing Quap with a snake. Like you hold the right trigger to accelerate, but he won't go anywhere unless you wiggle back and forth like a snake. And you hold the A button to raise your head, and you pull the other trigger to tighten yourself around whatever you're holding on to, and the Y button will get your little birdie friend to lift up your tail. So you really have to figure out the best way to slither over and around the stuff. So it's really hard, but it is fun, especially when you get it right. It's yes! You hit that reel after 50 times falling down, swearing at the snake. If anyone hasn't seen Donkey's video where he plays Snake Pass, it's totally worth it. But yeah, I mean, it looks great. The music is so good. I mean, we had the devs on here and we talked about the music and the graphics, but it was really nice to finally play it myself. And I picked it up on sale. Nice. Which is probably something we should talk about after this, because there's some sort of sale going on. I don't know, maybe
just a little sale.
Sure?
Yeah. But before we move on, Clay, how about you? Because you've been gone for so long.
Yeah, I've been playing a handful of different things. I've been primarily playing Watch Dogs, which was last month's Games with Gold. Was itching to finally play that, and I'm now struggling to really continue with it. It's sort of very quickly lost my interest.
I quite liked Watch Dogs.
I enjoyed it. It's just, I don't know. It was just one of these things that I started playing in between other games, and I just I just couldn't get hooked into it. I thought there were some really cool mechanics with the game, and I thought it visually looked pretty good. The driving was pretty horrendous in the game.
So for anyone who's ever thinking about picking up The Crew, that has the same driving engine.
Oh, really?
Just don't do it. The cars drive.
They drive.
Like imagine if there was a pole rammed through the bonnet, nailing the bonnet of the car to the ground, and basically you only turn by swinging the back end of the car out. Around this invisible pole.
It's just a little clunky. That's all. It's just a little clunky. But outside of Watch Dogs, I have, of course, been playing Rainbow Six Siege. And
of course,
I have dove. I don't know what the word I'm looking for. I dove into ranked again.
Oh no.
Yeah. And it's, maybe a year ago I was doing ranked, and then I stopped and I was just doing casual and partying up with random people and just having fun in casual for the longest time. And I, for whatever reason, jumped back into it, and it is like crack. I swear. It's so bad. It's so bad. I can't put it down. And
oh no.
You know what I don't understand though about this game is, and I'll try to stop talking about Rainbow Six Siege because I talk about it a lot, but the game has been out for almost 2 years now, and when you go to play ranked, it says beta. Like it's in. How is the ranked system in beta still, and it's already been almost 2 years since this game has been out? Am I going crazy?
But I just recently figured out that discovered. Apparently, I own Rainbow Six Siege, and I installed it. I haven't played it yet, not even the tutorial, because we're gonna
play it.
Clayton is gonna. I almost said Clayton's going to pop my cherry. That was going to be a bit weird. I'm going to play the first time with you, and we're going to stream it so everyone can laugh at how bad I am.
Oh, I'm probably equally as bad. Given the day.
Speaking of games we've both played that you once accused me of being bad on, though, I played Everspace again after they released a patch to allow me to change the controls. And on my first run, I smashed every single record you ever made.
Yeah. Likely story. I was never trying.
I got screenshots, boy. I got screenshots.
Well, I need to see the proof. I don't believe you, man. I don't believe you. And you know what? After this, Tell you what, I'm going to go back in there. I'm going to see what that record was, and I'm going to be. Actually, I watched you stream it just recently on Mixer, and you picked up one of the new ships. The last time I played it, I don't think they had the ships available yet.
No, they didn't.
Yeah,
that's why I waited for the patch. It included, because my issue with the game before was the controls were super twitchy, and a lot of people on the internet thought the same thing. And the reason was you had the option to reduce the sensitivity, but it didn't work. So
that makes sense, right?
Made the full game release, the sensitivity worked, and so now I can actually steer. It still took me a while to adjust to the controls because it plays more like a first-person shooter than a ship game.
It's a beautiful.
But if you can sort of like disconnect your brain from the fact that it's a ship and think more like you're playing Rainbow Six Siege in space, then it clicks a bit easier.
It's a 3D space. That's all. It's you got to zoom around, up and backwards, and all that other crazy stuff. But I will check what that first run score was, and I will crush it. I will
bring it. The best part is I've like got 3 times the score of that.
Oh, jeez. What sector have you gotten up to?
Number 4, I think.
Yeah, I think that might 3 or 4 is the farthest I think I've gotten.
My issue is running out of fuel.
Yeah, and you get trapped somewhere.
Yeah, that's the hardest part is having enough fuel. I mean, because it's random how much fuel you find. So sometimes the game's just like, you've done everything right, but screw you, you die here.
You know what I really want to know is when those randomly, when you stick around on a map or whatever the world is, a planet, whatever space for too long, and those huge Star Destroyer ships come in. I'm like, is there a way you can actually beat one of those?
Okay, so I was playing around inside an asteroid. There was like a huge base inside an asteroid with all these doors that you could open and stuff like that. So I was in there for ages, and the ships showed up, but I was in this asteroid. I didn't care. And so I'm just in there minding my own business. And I finally, went through all the way through the base, took the loot, and then I left the asteroid, and the other guys were like in the opposite direction. So I started to make a run for it. I was like, I got this. So I start kicking up my thing, and I get to like maybe 80% charged, and then just boom, out of nowhere, 6 of them come out of warp, and like one was like right in my face, and I swerved to miss it, and like scraped the edge of it. Like that's how quick it appeared, and I actually flew through its hangar bay because I couldn't slow down because it's like right in my face, and I flew through its hangar bay and came out, and as soon as I like tried to pull away from it and came into range of its weapons, dead. Like swatting a fly. I didn't make it out.
If anybody hasn't, if you guys remotely think you might like a space shooter, you should check it out. It's definitely a fun one. And I actually I don't think, I know it's on sale with the Ultimate Game Sale. So why don't we jump right into the topics from this week, and let's start things off. Rhys, you want to kick it off with the game sale, Ultimate Game Sale?
Yeah, I suppose I will.
You're listening to Xbox One Party Chat Podcast. This week in the subreddit.
So, as Clayton so elegantly set me up for, the Ultimate Game Sale is on right now. Do you guys take a look?
It's pretty massive. They usually do this twice a year, don't they? Once around the holiday season and then once here during the summer times.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like up to, I think
off.
It's like, a lot off. Basically all the money is just gone. All the games are free. I'm actually just quickly bringing up the mega thread that was made by one of the guys on our mod team. I believe it was Defer. Thanks, Defer. Made this huge spreadsheet that has every game, what its price is, how much the percentage off, how much it was before, how much it is now. And yeah, there's everything. Did you guys pick anything up?
I have not. I am planning on picking up The Witcher 3, the complete edition. this week before the sale ends, and I'm very nervous that I will start that up and you will never hear from me again because it will
disappear into the midst of the Xbox.
Yeah. Outside of that, I wasn't planning on grabbing anything else, but the other one that I was looking at was Wolfenstein.
Oh yeah, that's definitely a good choice, no matter how much it costs.
And I think Wolfenstein was it under 10? It might have been 10 or under 10. Actually, let me pull it. It's $10. So
if you want a cheap laugh, Tales from the Borderlands, the complete season is only $4.50.
Jeez,
it's really funny, and it's like maybe 8 hours, a bit longer. It's worth playing, even if you don't like Borderlands. It's pretty funny. It's a Telltale game, so
yeah.
For $4, come on. And I think no, and like Saints Row Get Out of Hell is only like $3.
Jeez, that is wait, what?
Yeah, Party Hard is only $5. I know Ross plays that game. Metro Last Light Redux, $5.
Yeah.
Anyone who does not own that game, $5. Seriously, guys. And Metro 2033 Redux as well. Also,
you can get
$5.
You can get the whole bundle for $7.50. I think I got the whole bundle for $12 a year, a year and a half ago. It's 2 games for $7.50, and those are supposed to be just amazing games.
And they're like AAA games that are like really good.
Prep yourself for the new one coming out next year.
Oh yeah, I can't wait. So, Carina, did you get anything or not?
Not yet. There's still time. I've been looking at Overcooked, mainly because I played it at friends and it was just brilliant. I absolutely loved it. Do it. I mean, I used to work as a cook, and this game basically gives me the closest thing to PTSD that I've ever experienced. But it is so fun. I mean, I have friends come over semi-regularly for like, basically we cook dinner and just play video games together, you know. Normally we're on the Nintendo playing like Mario Party or whatever else, but whenever the rare occasion happens that there's a good 4-player party game on the Xbox, we play that as well. And Overcooked is it happens so frequently, but we have to be careful because like we have like had like actual legitimate relationship crises break out in the middle of a party because of this game. To be fair, I think we had a friendship problem because everyone was playing and it was going so well until someone set the whole kitchen on fire, and that was it. No one was speaking to each other. Everyone was just angry, and we didn't play it again.
But it is a great game. It won all those awards, and it deserved every single one. I recommend that game to anybody who likes fun. It's just so simple, but it's great. But yeah, I mean, I picked up Snake Pass, obviously. I think I paid like a very small amount for it. I think it was like $9. And I've definitely been enjoying it. And I was thinking of getting something else, but I can't remember what it was. I'm just sort of very quickly flicking through the list because there's quite a few things that I haven't played yet that I want to.
I was going to say, Rhys, the Legendary Edition's on sale if you're a gold member for $7.50, which is one of the original games that came out for the Xbox One, and it's amazing looking, and the gameplay is absolutely brutal and fun. So that's definitely one to check out if you're looking to get a new game for the cheap.
Unless the concept of like hitting someone with your shield and then chopping their arm off at the wrist doesn't appeal to you.
Tokyo 42's on this list. Nice. I love that game.
The game only just came out. Actually, that's what I was looking at. Speaking of local party games, I was looking at this game called Deformers.
Oh,
I'm not familiar with that. What's that?
I mean, it looks stupid and it looks cute, and I kind of want to play it. It's like
you're like a blob.
Yeah, you're like a fat sort of squishy blob shape, like, but with like an animal's face or animal skin, and you can like put hats on and stupid stuff. And it seems to be like this arena game where you all spawn onto like an elevated arena, and you got to like roll around and try and knock each other off. And as far as I can tell, that's the entire game.
Yeah, you essentially you can pick up little like I'm gonna call them seeds. I don't know what they are actually, like little ball things, and I think
so you've played it?
It's on PC, so I've seen some kids play it at the arena. I've watched them play it. But yeah, essentially you pick some things up and you can either use them to shoot back, or at the same time, you've got to collect certain items, but obviously you're racing against everyone else in the arena, whilst also trying to shoot each other, whilst also trying to avoid getting knocked off. But I think everyone just loves the fact you can customise the character. You can choose, I think there's a pug, which was quite popular. Like you say, you can put like little hats on, and I think that just makes it a bit fun. But that could get competitive. Play with the right people.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's only $15. I'm really thinking that's half price, by the way, which is damn good. So yeah, I think I might have to grab that one before the sale ends. Does anyone know when the sale is ending?
That is a very good question.
I kind of want to say the 8th, but is it the 8th? Oh, 10th of July.
You checked? 10th of July?
Yeah, now until the 10th of July.
Oh, anyone who has not... Up. That's fine. I choose to believe her anyway.
Just picked a random date.
Anybody who has not played Ori and the Blind Forest yet...
Oh yeah, I was thinking of picking that up.
It's half price.
Amazing.
Do it, you silly girl. Just get it.
It's only $10.
I'm about to say, exactly.
Yeah. That is a steal. I've heard that game is punishing as well, is it not?
It is really hard.
Is it got like feels as well? I feel like I need a box of tissues next week.
So it hits you with the feels before the first cutscene even ends. Like,
great.
Most people will be like, I have seen some people tear up before the first cutscene ends.
I was going to say, last year's E3, I think I was tearing up the trailer, never mind the actual game.
Yeah, it's pretty harsh, and then the game just continues to pile on the feels. But it is really hard. But it is like pixel perfect. So if you die, it's not like it's always your fault.
Yeah.
The game's never cheap, but it will punish you for a mistake. Like there's these escape sequences, and basically you have to memorize your way out because one mistake and you're done.
Oh. Like
one mistimed jump, one mistimed wall bounce or anything like that, and you're done. You have to restart the chase sequence again. It's very much like Rayman Origins in that respect.
Oh, okay.
Actually, you guys, before we jump on to the next topic, I wanted to ask you guys, there's another topic that's very much related to this sale that's very quickly blowing up on the sub the past day or so, which is, how do you guys feel about, should there be a shopping cart added to the store?
Oh my god, yes.
But is that lethal? Maybe that's a bit lethal.
That could be dangerous. Yeah, I never thought of that.
I was wondering if the reason behind it is because, like, I know people were saying it would be great in this so that you don't have to individually do a whole bunch of individual transactions. I could do one transaction, just be a little bit less clicky, time consuming. I'm wondering, do you think that would have anything to do with the return policy that they now have, the digital return policy?
That might get in the way, yeah.
I don't know.
I also think maybe they don't want to deal with the fact that, little Timmy might turn on Daddy's Xbox and queue up like $6,000 worth of stuff. And suddenly Daddy comes home from work, he's $6,000 in debt, and he calls up Microsoft and says, I'm not paying you $6,000, and then everything gets all complicated.
And they say, oh, okay, not a problem. We can.
Yeah, I'm sure that's exactly what Microsoft, and the bank too, the bank would be like, oh, it's fine, no problem. Yeah. No, that's the complete opposite of what would happen. I think that might be also one of the reasons, like they just don't want to deal with that. But then again, Steam lets you have a basket, right? Or does it?
I don't know.
Steam? Yeah, you can have a wish list and a cart.
Yeah, I know you had a wish list.
Maybe Microsoft could just do a wish list then and see how that goes.
A wish list would be great.
Then you can always keep track of things as well, so you could see, you only have to pop to the wish list to see if it goes on offer.
And then I'll like take pictures of myself in scantily clad, suggestive positions so that people will buy the games for me. I'm sure I
feel like someone, maybe it was Major, maybe it was Mike Ybarra, someone posted. I thought that the wish list they were working on that.
I think Big Mike might have dropped a hint.
On the tweeters or something like that.
Basically, he likes to drop hints on the tweeters and on the discords.
All right, let's change subject here. Let's chat about the games with gold for July.
More free games.
Yeah,
free is cheaper than discount.
So user AHNAF FM posted the games with gold for July, which is coming on right now. Available is Grow Up on the Xbox One, and Runbow is coming later in the month on the 16th. And over on the 360, which is backwards compatible, you have Kane and Lynch 2 for the first half of this month, and then Lego Pirates of the Caribbean. We've been getting a lot of Lego titles lately, haven't we? I feel like there's been a few, which I'm not complaining. These games are maybe solid games.
I actually, I know a guy, his name is Bear Parker, and he used to work for Microsoft, and now he actually works for Lego, on the Lego games team. Yeah, and he, maybe I should talk to him about why we're getting all these Lego games. It could be his influence. You never know. Actually, Bear isn't listening because, he's actually a person who has a life and stuff, but I've got to give him props. If any of you remember the contest that we did for Quantum Break, where we gave away a copy of the game that had been signed by Sean Ashmore, that sweet, sweet hookup came from Bear. So thanks, Bear. You're great.
He does amazing Lego levels as well.
He does,
his Metal Gear Solid one he did?
He made Metal Gear Solid? No.
He made, I'm sure it's Metal Gear Solid, one of the levels, he literally did a replica of it, but in Lego. It was amazing. I haven't tried it out. Was it in the Lego Worlds, I think it is? But no, it looked amazing.
I'm going to have to check that out. But are you guys excited for any of these games?
Probably the Lego Pirates Caribbean. I'm always a soft spot for Lego. I think it's just a childhood thing. I've always been a bit obsessed with Lego.
The best Lego game ever is Lego Indiana Jones 1.
I have not played that one.
I think it's my favorite out of all of them. It just makes me laugh. But are you guys going to try Grow Up or Runbow?
I will probably try both of those. I'm primarily interested in Kane and Lynch at this point. That is one that I actually told myself I was going to download, what was it, yesterday or the day before? And get going with, but haven't had a chance to check it out. But that game series is one that I've always been interested in, just never got around to playing. So I'm interested in checking it out.
This is
how crazy it is.
This is kind of except for Kane and Lynch 2, which is like the complete opposite of what I'm about to say. This is a fairly family-friendly month.
Yeah.
You got Grow Up, and you got Rumbo, and you got Lego Pirates. It's like, it's good for the kids this month. And then you got Kane and Lynch 2, which is like one of the most extremely adult games there is.
I'll probably give Grow Up a go.
If I remember correctly, there's a level, I think it's one of the first ones, one of the guys you play is completely naked, and the camera is actually like the camera that you play as, like, that follows him around is like actually someone with a camcorder, so like all his junk is pixelated, but
yeah, I've seen. But I think the trailer for that.
It's quite funny.
Something for that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But I think Runbow is going to be quite good, interesting for me again with this whole local multiplayer thing. I do love me some zany, competitive and cooperative multiplayer.
Nothing wrong with that. That's for
no. Did you guys see it? It has like a sort of a color mechanic, a bit like Black and White Bushido, but colorful. And platforming instead of violent.
No, I haven't seen much of it other than, I think, a trailer or two. Is this out on the Nintendo Switch as well?
Runbow? It might be.
I feel like I've seen it on maybe Nintendo.
There's one called Runbow Pocket.
Maybe
that's the Nintendo Switch?
Could be. By the way, speaking of the Nintendo Switch and games and stuff that we like to play, I took a brief couple days off. And my girlfriend and I, we went to like not small town, the third biggest town in Finland, but it's still a small town. And we took the train there and playing 2-player Switch on the train. It's just the best.
Nice.
You just fold the table down, undock the thing, like, with that really flimsy kickstand at the back, and take off the Joy-Cons, and it's great. Of course, we played a little bit of 2-player, and then we started playing Puyo Puyo Tetris, and things got serious.
That's when it gets competitive.
I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting for, like, all the traveling that I do, being in the airport. I play it all the time when I'm sitting in the airport waiting for flights, or on my flight. I'm usually playing it. I'm still waiting to bump into someone else that wants to randomly have a Mario Kart match or something along those lines.
Yeah, a game of Mario Kart while like multiplayer on the plane? That would be amazing.
Then again, I look like a disgruntled old man while I'm sitting there at the airport. No one talk to me, leave me alone.
I'm sure there was a thread going, like a trend going around on Twitter at some point when the Switch first came out, where it was like people were taking pictures where they were sat on the plane and they'd ask, no matter who sat next to them, they'd ask if they want them to play the Nintendo Switch with them, and then they just take like photo evidence. But it was trying to get as many people as possible to do it. But it's just some like random stranger. I was like, oh, that's nice. At least it passed the time.
Yeah,
yeah.
Exactly. All right, let's jump into the next one here before we head on over into our interview. This one is from Lack of Focus, who posted about PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds, which is looking to have cross-play between the PC and the Xbox One. So I want to get your guys' feedback on that. I actually don't know, Carina, have you played that at all? I know you do a bit of PC gaming. Have you had a chance to play that one at all?
I've not played it yet. Mainly, I am awful at shooters. However, I have watched a lot of people play it, and it does want me to get it myself. I might get it when it gets released on Xbox, because it looks highly addictive.
It does. It does.
But no, I've seen how much people get into it, and the tricks people do, and just. But I don't know how they'll do the crossplay, because I think I've heard the Xbox is for up to 60 people, where the PC it's up to 100 on a server. So I'm not sure if they'll just cap it if it's crossplay or.
I don't think I realized there was up to 100 on the PC.
Yeah, it's 100.
Yeah.
Wow.
100 people spawn in and one person leaves.
Wow, that's I didn't realize it was that high. No, I think what was interesting to me was I think Lack of Focus also posted a little quote from the article, which was that the developers are working on aim assist for us console players. That since the concern might be keyboard and mouse versus a controller. In terms of
keyboard and mouse in a shooter like that, they're going to give us a whooping.
Exactly.
Like
exactly.
If anyone hasn't seen PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds, the game is it's quite tactical. Like it's still kind of arcadey, but it tries to. It's sort of like Rainbow Six Siege in that it has like some moniker or some sort of symbolism of reality, and so it's really skill based. There's no spray and pray. There's no COD, respawn. Because, when you die, you're dead. That's it. Game over. You can watch the rest of the match or you can bow out.
Right.
And yeah, I think PC players would bring the hurt.
They definitely would. They would definitely. I'm looking forward to it. I don't know for this particular game. I always welcome that crossplay, but for a shooter, I more than likely would not entertain just for that sole reason. You just get absolutely killed against PC players.
I'm so looking forward to being able to play this game. Like, for example, with you guys and Ross, who's not here, like a four-way.
That'd be great.
A four-way. What's it called? A four-way co-stream. Thank you. Yes. On Beamer.
I was wondering where you were going with that.
Yeah, no, not that. Yeah, we've just discussed this many times, Clay. It's not that kind of podcast. But yeah, so a four-way stream and this game, there's so much potential for shenanigans.
Oh yes,
for a sure. Game like this,
for sure. This would be a blast for us to be able to co-stream.
You know what? What I'm going to do is, if someone kills me in a particularly amazing or dirty, underhanded way. I'm not going to quit. I'm just going to watch them and judge everything they do and then cheer when they finally die. That's going to be. And then I might send congratulation messages to the person who killed them. I don't know how far. It depends on how badly they kill me.
I do have a challenge. Try and come in the top 10 by using only a frying pan.
Ooh.
Yeah. I had a friend use a frying pan, but they didn't really get that far. There's only so much you can do.
Against a sniper rifle, yeah.
Only so much. You have to get in real close for that frying pan.
It'd be cool if you could hit grenades back with it.
Oh yeah, if you could deflect them. Who knows?
Just keep swinging.
Hey, the frying pan is a legit strategy in Left 4 Dead 2.
I'll take your word on it.
You haven't played Left 4 Dead 2?
I've not. I've not.
Oh, dude, get it. Is it backwards compatible yet?
It is. I believe it is. At least
we should totally play.
Yeah.
I love that game. It's amazing. I love the noise it makes when you hit them with the frying pan. It's just really satisfying.
All right, you guys, we are going to jump on over. We're going to grab Ross, and we are going to kick on this interview with AceyBongos.
Xbox Snap this week's interview.
So welcome back, and joining us for this week's interview is a returning guest. It is, well, he's known on Xbox Live as AceyBongos. It's Graeme Boyd. Welcome to the podcast, Graeme. Or welcome back, should I say.
Hey, thanks for having me back. I must have done all right last time if I got asked back again, so I appreciate it.
I think you're our 7th favourite guest, so that's not too bad.
7th?
Yeah.
7th, that's pretty good. Top 10, I'm happy with that.
We've not done a top 10 list. 50...
Episode 61.
61. You know better than me. That says quite a lot.
Well, that's, 7th out of 61. Pretty happy with that. Room for improvement, you know?
What's next year?
Thank you so much for coming back and joining us. It's been about a year since we've spoken to you last. Now, we've picked up some new listeners on the way, or maybe someone missed the initial visit. So for those listening who maybe do not know who you are, give us an overview of who you are and what your job is at Xbox.
Yeah, totally. My name's Graeme Boyd. As you said, my Xbox Live gamer tag is AceyBongos, and I'm AceyBongos on Twitter and Instagram and pretty much everywhere else as well. So I work with all of our markets, our countries around the world that run Facebook pages, Twitter feeds, all that sort of stuff, and just support them, make sure they've got the content they need, make sure that things are consistent and that we're talking to our audiences around the world through social media in the right way. So that's a lot of fun because it's a lot of different, variations between markets and countries, and the Xbox community around the world is incredible wherever you go, but it's also different in different countries and different parts of the world. So it's kind of fascinating to get to work with the community globally. And then the other part of my job in social media is that I actually head up platform marketing, we call it, for in Xbox. And platform really means console and accessories. I get to work with our agencies on creative around Xbox One S and Xbox One X, which is obviously pretty cool at the moment. And then all our new controllers and accessories and working with them to figure out how those things show up in social media and how they kind of integrate with how they show up in other parts of Xbox, like Xbox.com and newsletters and stuff. So social media marketing, really. And I think because I do some of the Daily Show stuff and some people sometimes see me on videos and stuff, I think maybe people sometimes think my job is a bit more like Larry's, like Major Nelson's. But actually,
I've read you being called the European Major Nelson, which I don't know, is that a compliment?
I always think of Larry as the American AceyBongos.
Yes, that's how I'd describe it as well.
There we go.
Yeah. No, that's absolutely. I mean, honestly, it's a compliment, to be thought of like that. It is, in reality, like the sort of video stuff and presenting, it's a very small part of my job. I'm really pleased that, working with fans and Xbox fans and gaming fans, around the world is still a big part of my job. And one of the cool things about going to events and, doing presenting and stuff is that you get to meet so many real Xbox fans and real gaming fans. So I feel really lucky that I've got, a nice sort of spread of responsibilities at Xbox, and I can get involved in lots of different things, but the kind of social media marketing side of things is definitely what takes up most of my time.
I mean, I've seen a ton of retweets and posts from you about the Design Labs controllers, and every time I see one, I keep going, I need to make my own. I need to have one of those made. Those just look ridiculously cool, some of the designs that folks have compiled together.
Well, I don't know. I mean, if you follow me on Twitter and Instagram as well, you probably get a sense that, I absolutely love Xbox controllers. Like I always have. Always one of my favorite sort of parts of the job to to work on content around them and photography and figure out how we're going to present them through social media. And I collect them myself as well. So, I always have done, right through Xbox 360 and right up to today. So it's been really cool to work on Design Labs. Just, from a Xbox fan point of view, which I obviously am, it's just a really cool offering, and I've always wanted to be able to design my own. So it's been nice to work from at that point. And then what you see is that I love seeing everyone's individual designs and the inspiration behind their designs. So the fact that it's now launched in UK, France and Germany, as well as US and Canada and Puerto Rico, has been really great for me being based over here because, A, I can actually, legitimately get an Xbox Design Lab controller now. And B, it's nice to be able to share it with the community over here. If people have been sending me photos, I've been retweeting it. And I love just hearing the stories about why they've chosen those colors or those designs. And, I've got a bit of a soft spot for ones that are inspired by football teams, because that's, definitely the inspiration I put into my controllers. So, yeah, really cool. And I'm excited that we've got more news about extra countries coming later this summer as well. So keep an eye on that.
That's great to hear. Yes, for sure. We will. So, Acey, now that you gave us a little bit of a background of about what you do at Xbox, I guess we wanted to know, how did you get started there? What brought you to working at Xbox?
So I started as a video games journalist about 2004, so quite a while ago now. Came straight out of uni and was lucky enough to get a job on Computer and Video Games magazine when that was still going in the UK. And then moved online onto cvg.com, and then moved over to the official Xbox magazine. And the website actually launched the new website for OXM when just before the Xbox 360 was launched. I guess that's 2005.
Yeah,
summer of 2005. Yeah, those were fun days. And really, and from there, it was about a year later, I guess I actually ended up on the European Xbox team. So I guess 2006. And I've been here since. So that's 11 years at Xbox now. Through a lot of changes in terms of consoles and even, in terms of the way that social media has evolved and changed and become much more important to the gaming community. So yeah, it's been a good ride.
Your time frame must have been perfect for social media in that sense, because you would have been there right on the cusp of Facebook and Twitter and everything's just taken off. You've been there for the whole time, essentially, then. Yeah. I mean, I think, in some aspects I've been quite lucky because of that. The timing worked out really nicely for me. I was started as a community manager at Xbox, so working really closely with, fan site editors and kind of grassroots gaming community. So, those communities grasped onto social media very quickly. So it immediately felt quite, native to me, and it was important for us to understand it and figure out how Xbox could and should get involved in social media. But it has been fascinating to see it change. I mean, I remember when YouTube wasn't even a thing. And if you look at, how important YouTube and Twitch and Mixer and, video in general is to gaming, and the gaming community now, compared to back in those days, it's quite startling. I remember we started working with YouTubers in 2008, 2009 maybe. And even the people I was working with, my agency at the time were, they had to convince me that these kids making videos on YouTube were the future. Because I was sort of like, so they sit in their room and they play games and they make videos about it. And they go to events with a little camera and shoot themselves. And this is going to be big, is it? And they're like, yeah. So, we took a few YouTubers at the time, to events and stuff. And yeah, the numbers even back then were huge, but compared to what they are now, obviously just absolutely dwarfed. So it's just been amazing to see how the whole, I guess, the ability to create content and therefore to influence people and put your opinions out there, has just completely changed in the time I've been here at Xbox. And certainly from when I was a
when I was a games journalist, you had games journalists and websites and magazines and the audience, right? And that was kind of the way it worked. Whereas now is like everyone is a games journalist essentially. Yeah. And I think that's awesome. But it's amazing that the way things have shifted, and I think it can only be good for the games industry. It's great.
So for someone that wanted to follow a similar path, what would be your advice? Because it has changed since you get into this industry. Is there anything that you could offer them?
I've always kind of said, have a clear idea of what you'd like to do, but don't be, super, from a young age, don't be like 100% focused on one individual thing, keep a little bit of an open mind, but really just like working hard and getting the qualifications you think you need for what you want to do, and making contacts. Again, that's the brilliant thing about social media now is the way you can build connections with and make contacts with pretty much anyone in the gaming community, right up to like, superstar developers. So I think it's that's really opened things up, and people can really make a name for themselves for the the work they do, the opinions they have, and that's awesome. That's really, really good. So just build connections and always work hard. Because I think I feel like I've been quite lucky in the way it's worked out for me. But then there's always an element of hard work creates luck. And I did study hard at uni, and and I tried hard at school, and like I always enjoyed writing, so worked hard on my writing, and then that kind of took me to places that I didn't necessarily think I would end up, but it's been great. So yeah, a little bit of luck, a little bit of hard work, and then work hard on making connections and contacts, and I think good things can happen.
Yeah, so Acey, I wanted to ask you, you were heavily involved at E3, and especially with the daily shows. And I mean, the shows were just absolutely phenomenal. It seemed like you guys had a ton of people watching each and every day, especially over on Mixer and over on Xbox. I wanted to ask you, how much prep work goes in to those daily shows? Are they all done off the cuff, or are they fairly scripted out, or how was that for you getting that going?
First of all, there's so much fun to do. Like, I absolutely love doing those shows at E3, and when other times when we have the opportunity as well, it's great. And as a fan of gaming in general, one of the things I get a real kick out of them is that I get to meet so many developers and people who work on these games that I absolutely love. So that's a real privilege, and it's a nice thing to be able to do. A ton of work goes into them, but I'm not going to take any credit for that, because actually the vast majority of the work, and it is tons of work, happens behind the scenes with the production team. Yeah, they are absolutely incredible, and for me and Larry and Kate and Julia, the production team just makes it so much fun to be involved with for us. Like, they take all of the hard work off us and let us kind of just, enjoy it and have a bit of fun with it, and try and do the best we can with the hosting and with the guests. It is all quite, particularly E3, it's all quite fluid because, we definitely have show flows and running orders, and, there's a lot of guests booked in and stuff, but if you know what E3 is like, it's just madness, and schedules shift around all over the place all the time. So we have to kind of, be quite reactive on it. You never quite know if the next segment or the next guest is, going to be there on time, or if we're going to have to move things around and stuff. So, but that just sort of adds to the fun. And it is definitely, some of it's scripted in terms of, we know what's happening next, and we have intros and outros and segues between segments and stuff. But really the nicest part of that is that you're kind of given a structure and a framework that gives you the confidence to then actually go off script and just muck around. As an example, right, on the Monday show at E3 this year, we had Craig and Joe on from Rare, who I know you just had on the podcast recently. And, and I know the Rare team quite well, and we've played football together and all that sort of stuff before, so we get on pretty well. I love going up there. It's such a good laugh. It's such a good, fun team to be around. And that interview in particular just very quickly went off the rails. but I think it was actually my favorite interview of the whole 3 days, because we just had a bit of a laugh and I think they actually shared like different kinds of information than they were like planning to share, which is great, because you maybe hear something new just because you were having a bit of a laugh with them. So yeah, it's a ton of fun. I really, really enjoy it. And as I say, it's just a tiny part of my job.
I was going to say, you seem really natural up there. I mean, do you still get nervous before you go up there, especially interviewing Phil or someone else? Phil on stage in front of lots and lots of people.
Totally. It was nice getting to speak to Phil this year, because I think I did it maybe 3 or 4 years ago. Don't want to sound like I'm being sycophantic here, but he's fantastic. Like, I've just got so much respect and time for Phil. I think he's phenomenal for Xbox as a business, and really deeply understands games and the gaming community as a whole, not just the Xbox community. I think he's great for gaming in general. So that was a real pleasure. It's always good to speak to him. But it is a little bit intimidating, especially when you're speaking to Phil. But he is a very personable, he's a nice bloke as well, right? So
yeah.
That's kind of relaxes you. And, we always have a bit of a laugh about the first time I interviewed, I introduced him as Xbox's head honcho.
Yes.
And live at the time, he took real umbrage to that term. He was like, head honcho, what does that mean? So we always make sure that we write in a suitably bad title for him. So I think this year it was like the Lord of Xbox, which again he didn't particularly enjoy too much. But it's just a bit of fun. So that's good. I mean, but in answer to your original question, I've done it quite a lot now, so it's not so much. I'm usually more nervous if I don't feel prepared, and that kind of goes for everything in my life. Meetings and presentations and then daily shows and things like that. But again, if you're prepared and you've got a good team and good people around you, it's just excitement, really. It's fun to do, and it is a privilege. So I always try and remember that. You still get a little, there's nothing wrong with a wee bit of nerves now and again. But I just really enjoy it now. And honestly, I have been doing it for quite a long time, so I've had the benefit of lots of practice, which helps.
Does it still feel like work, or is it more play?
Not really.
No,
and that's why I really like it, because a lot of my day job is doing PowerPoints and spreadsheets and tons and tons and tons of emails. So I really take it as a real privilege when I get to do these things, and just really try and enjoy it as much as possible. And hopefully that comes across.
Now, Mixer is of course here. Everything was broadcast in Mixer that you were doing, and not only was that a great advert for the platform, but seemed to work quite smoothly. Now, you're going to be able to watch all Xbox shows, briefings and events in the future on there, as we just had in E3. As a marketing manager and a presenter, to have that as a platform, is that a game changer?
Yeah, I mean, it's really exciting to have it, as part of Xbox now, really. It's part of Microsoft, part of the family. And just even the it's changed so much just, in the time that we brought it on board and the sort of short time that it's been alive as a service. I mean, the name's changed, obviously, which is quite a big thing. But yeah, it's really exciting, the opportunities it's opened up. I think it was great at E3, and that was our first opportunity to really go big on Mixer, showing the briefing in 4K there. Was really cool. And then, great to have the Daily Show involved. And, I love the interactivity that it brings, and the added benefits that it can bring to people watching. We gave away a ton of free games this time if you watch through Mixer. And so that's really cool. And I'm excited to see where that team takes it. We're talking to them about Gamescom and things we can do there. So that's exciting too. But yeah, I think in terms of, streaming services, I think it is a game changer with the low latency is one thing. I think reducing that distance between broadcaster and audience is awesome. But for me, the bit that's really exciting is this, the interactivity and the different, the different depths of options that the Mixer opens up. And when you combine those two things together, the low latency, the kind of, you are seeing it as exactly as it's happening, with the interactivity, I think you can start to see some really exciting opportunities opening up in future. So yeah, it's cool to see that team developing, and they've got some real talent over there. And I'm excited to see where it goes.
We are also very excited and fully on board with Mixer, especially the co-streaming options that you guys have worked into.
That's awesome,
it's easily
a
great thing. And now you can co-stream from. Actually, still might be in the preview build, but yeah, you can now co-stream with others directly from the Xbox, which is again you guys have made it so easy to access and use that service. So it's like a no-brainer that I'm glad you're going to start picking it up if you're on the Xbox.
Yeah, I'm glad you reminded me about that in particular, because I think one of the benefits that we've got is that, something like co-streaming, we've got games being built within the Microsoft family, like Sea of Thieves, for instance, right?
Yeah.
Sea of Thieves and co-streaming are just absolute perfect partners. So I think it's great that there can be an exchange of ideas and knowledge between teams like Rare and the Mixer team, who are building out those services. I think that's across the board. That's going to pay, real dividends in future, because you've got these amazingly creative teams doing similar things that can really help each other out, and then therefore it makes it better for the audience and the user at the end of the day. So it's exciting. My one regret with Mixer is that I haven't really had the chance to use it much myself. I was kind of hoping I would get on there more and start doing some more streaming, but
Graeme,
I haven't had the chance yet.
And we'll co-stream one
that's
day,
a good
right?
idea, yeah. That's a great idea. Rangers versus Aberdeen.
Well, Rangers versus Aberdeen, I think, yeah.
Nice. All right, it's a date.
Acey, we can't talk to you about E3 without bringing up the Xbox One X. So it must be such an amazing feeling to have that finally revealed and have that announced to everyone and hear the excitement behind that. So I just wanted to get your take on it. What was it like there at the show directly when that was announced, and I guess some of the feedback that you've heard from folks on the new console or the updated console?
Yeah, it was a relief. It was really exciting to reveal it. It was very secretive internally. I'd say I've been here a long time, and X was definitely one of the most secretive things I've ever seen here. We were very keen to, keep some surprises, and even just the name itself. It was so good to hear it being said out publicly, because I was absolutely paranoid for ages that I was going to accidentally say the name.
wet the Scorpio out the back.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that was great, and I think I loved our briefing this year. I thought the presentation was great. I loved the screen we had there. I thought it looked brilliant on the stream. And I like the way that we presented Xbox One X. I like that we've, this information that we shared through like Digital Foundry and stuff earlier this year.
Yeah, that was different.
I like that we took. Yeah, it definitely was. And honestly, when I first heard about that approach, I wasn't entirely sure. But I love the fact that we went hardware first. And I love the fact that we had, it wasn't just us saying it.
Yeah.
We had experts looking at it, and giving their opinion on it very early. So I really love that approach. And I like how we actually went, we gave a lot of like very kind of technical info first.
Right.
Which I think was really good. And I think what we did at E3 was kind of like reframe that really technical specs-based info into something that, the wider gaming community, and I definitely include myself there, can really understand and get to grips with. So, I think it is the world's most powerful console, and I think we've landed that, and I think people are really starting to see what that means now. We've told everyone about Xbox One X, we've showed the actual box itself, we've talked about what it's going to be called, how much it's going to cost when it's coming, the exciting thing for me now is getting real gamers, real Xbox fans in front of Xbox One X and hands-on with the games, so they can truly feel what that extra power gives you. And I'm really excited to hear those reactions, down the line. So, clearly that's something we're really keen to do over the next few months, and it's very exciting.
Can I say, it showed the confidence, I think, that he's had in the product, essentially, because Digital Foundry, it must be very nerve-wracking just to position a console in front of them and go, test, this is going to be released publicly. It must have been so nerve-wracking, that. But one of the other things that were announced, of course, at the conference was that original Xbox backwards compatibility is coming. But is there a game from the Xbox that you cannot wait to play on your X?
I think I was thinking about this earlier. I think, and then weirdly, the game that popped into mind was, do you remember a little cat called Blinks the Time Sweeper? Yeah. So that's Blinks. Yeah, I think he was intended to be like Xbox's Mario, but he never quite, bless him, he never quite took off in the same way. But I've got quite good memories of Blinks because I was studying in Edinburgh at the time that game came out, and I worked in Blockbuster on the Gorgie Road, just across from Tynecastle, actually, Heart Stadium. And we had a big cardboard cutout of him in the shop. And then I applied for a job at Official Xbox magazine at the same time, and they wanted a sort of sample review of an Xbox game. And given that was the newest one that had just come into the shop, I took it home and wrote a 600-word review of Blinks the Time Sweeper. So it kind of has a bit of it got 6 out of 10, by the way.
And that's why it's not the Mario of Xbox then.
Yeah, and I didn't get the job. I don't know if those two things are related. But so it's good. It's got good memories for me. But actually, that game as well was was quite ahead of its time. Because it used the hard drive on the original Xbox to you could rewind time and do all this sort of stuff. So it used the hard drive in a really clever way, which I think we all take for granted now. But back then it was pretty technically sophisticated. And then play it again and reminisce and see if it deserves maybe a 6.5 or a 7.
I'd love to see a review this time on from you, Acey. Honestly, that'd be on playing it on your X, a backwards compatible original title reviewed, and you should send it in. See if you can get
send it to XM. Yeah, we'll see. Also, but, I should just say as well, I don't know if Blinks the Time Super will come to OG Xbox back compat.
No.
But I certainly hope it would. It'd be nice if it did.
Well, for me, it's easy. It's FIFA Street. But what about you, Clay?
FIFA Street?
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Easily Crimson Tide. Crimson Tides, Crimson Skies.
Crimson Skies. Well, there you go.
Easily. Yeah.
You're locked in there.
I think it was the first game. So, Acey, we also wanted to ask you about your passion for Forza. Since at the conference this year, we got a new game reveal. They also revealed a new Porsche. We just wanted to find out what's behind your love for the Forza series.
Yeah, it's quite simple, honestly. I always loved cars. I'm not a massive car nut. I don't know my way around an engine. I don't know all of the specs of the latest cars out or anything, but I just love cars. I love looking at them. I love driving them. My dream job, seriously, would be a racing driver. Not necessarily like Formula One, but rally or touring cars, something like that. I love cars. So naturally, I've always loved driving games. I was a huge Gran Turismo fan, back in the day when I had a PlayStation 2, I guess turn of the millennium, 2000, that sort of time. Absolutely loved Gran Turismo 3 with a force feedback wheel and the pedals and all that sort of stuff. And then, over the years, I think Forza's just really solidified its place as the driving, not just game, but driving franchise. So I've always loved Forza Motorsport. And then Forza Horizon, is up there with my all-time favorite game franchises. Just absolutely love that game. I love what I love about it is that it feels like, yes, it's a driving game. It's technically amazing. It looks beautiful. It's from a game design point of view, it's great. But the thing I really love about it is it's got real heart and soul to it. There's something you can't quite put your finger on about that game that just really makes you feel part of something. And I think, the team at Playground Games up in Leamington, they deserve so much credit for like imbuing that game with this spirit that makes you feel part of, this event and this happening. It's just awesome. So I love it. And then, the other thing about Forza, which is a wee bit more selfish, is that working on Forza over the years has enabled me and allowed me to get close to motor racing in beautiful cars. For Horizon stuff, I've been able to drive hideously expensive and fast cars. Spent some time with Tanner Faust.
Wow.
A couple of years ago as well, which is awesome. And, it's just some of these experiences as well. I never take those things for granted. And Forza's always been a great way to be engaged with them. Great team as well. One of the things about this job is that you meet lots of different teams, lots of different developers, marketing teams, etc. And everyone that I've ever met through Turn 10 or the Forza team internally here at Xbox and certainly Playground Games as well. They're just really great people that are really passionate about what they do. So that's always a joy as well.
Now, I need to ask you something actually. Now, I made a prediction before E3. We have a prediction special that Phil Spencer was going to wear a t-shirt with my face on it. Now, for some bizarre reason...
What was that based on?
I just did that inclination. Why wouldn't he? Why wouldn't he? It didn't happen for some reason, but do you think you could sort it for me for next year?
I could certainly have a word.
Yeah.
I can have a word with him, man.
If you want to take part, we've got a hashtag on the go. It's called, it's hashtag Ross on Phil.
Ross on Phil.
Yeah.
Ross on Phil.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of, what's your man that was on EastEnders? Ross Kemp.
Ross Kemp.
Ross Kemp on Phil. Ross on Phil. A hard-hitting expose of Phil.
No, it's just a Scottish man's face on a man's t-shirt. Yeah. I'm going to ask everyone this now, even people who aren't directly related to Xbox, because after a while he's going to get sick of it, isn't he, and just do it.
Have you got the t-shirts made?
Have I got to send him a t-shirt? If I've got to put my hand in my pocket, I'm not doing it. I thought
so you want him to wear the t-shirt, but he's actually got to design the t-shirt and get it printed and...
Yeah.
Okay. Right, well, I think that might be a deal breaker. I was feeling pretty positive about it, because me and Phil are pretty tight now after I called him the Lord of Xbox. But
well, fair enough. Thanks anyway. Now,
good luck. We've all got dreams,
So there's something else which you are known for. You do many good deeds for charity. Now, the last time we were on, we're talking about the work that you've been doing for Special Effect. Have you been doing anything recently or anything coming up with regards to the charity or anything else?
Special Effects are incredible and, really... I don't do that much. I'm really passionate about Special Effect as a charity. I think there's a lot of people who do a lot more for charity, so I don't want to take too much credit for that. I kind of do what I can. But I think working in games and just being a gamer in general, I think it's really important to support charities that do great work for gamers, and I think Special Effect are just such an amazing example of that. If you don't know what they do, they help people with physical and mental disabilities play video games, essentially. And not just play video games, but access technology, access computing, not just for gaming, but for work, for communication, for friendships, for all that sort of stuff. So they're phenomenal. So, there's such a nice bunch of people and so intelligent and so talented, and they do genuinely life-changing work. I'm just really happy to support them whenever I can. And again, selfishly talking, I get some cool opportunities out of it as well. A few weeks ago, I was up at Northampton Town FC's football club's ground, and we played an exhibition match, 11-a-side in the stadium, to raise money for special effects. So that, stuff like that's a lot of fun. And, if you can have fun with stuff like that and get some cool experiences and also help a charity doing amazing work, then it's all goodness as far as I'm concerned. So the next thing I'm doing with them is the British 10K, which I think is a week on Sunday, and I haven't done much training actually. I've fallen off my running. That's fine. So I need to actually start raising some money for that. That's crept up on me actually. I didn't realize it was so soon. So hopefully raise some money for that. It's a really good turnout from the games industry. I think there's almost 100 people running to support special effects next Sunday in London. So that's great. But I would really urge you to look them up. It's specialeffect.org.uk, I believe.
And I'll make sure that I include all the links in the description for the podcast as well. So for anyone that wants to get involved and raise some money or just even find out more information about the work that Special Effect do, just look in the description of this podcast or in the post on the subreddit.
Indeed. They're amazing.
There you go, taking it through. But
there's a lot of difficult things going on in the world these days, and if you can, make a little bit of a difference for an amazing cause, then it's a good thing to do. So I'd love it if you looked them up.
Well, Graeme, I know you're a busy man, so thank you so much for taking the time out to come back and speak to us again.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for asking me again. I hope that was all right. And just thank you to you gents. Thanks for asking me. Thanks for all the work that you do. It's really appreciated over here. And thanks to everyone listening as well. As I said it earlier, I really mean it. It's the best part of my job is to work with and talk to Xbox fans and gamers. It would not be the same. My job would not be the same without it. So thank you for your support and keep talking to us, keep giving us your opinions, and we love it. And hopefully I'll see some of you later this year at Gamescom and maybe even EGX.
Yep, hopefully we get to see you there. And thanks again for joining us.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Graeme, for taking some time to speak with us. Always fun getting to chat with some of the folks from Microsoft and hearing how they got started and what they're working on. And basically, we got to chat a little bit about E3, and it was too much fun. But let's get back. We've got a few more stories, and we will wrap things up. I guess, Rhys, you want to grab this next one here?
Yeah, actually, this is really important because it actually is directly related to the subreddit. So you guys know that Microsoft, takes a real active interest in what everyone's talking about on the subreddit. And when people when people post technical issues on the sub, Microsoft is really quick to read those and respond to those. And you may all recall that a user posted a serious issue that Chatterbait had stopped working on the subreddit.
Had stopped working on his Xbox. Yeah.
He posted on the subreddit that it has stopped working on his Xbox, yes. And amusingly, I know a few people on the Microsoft tech team. We're on pretty good terms. People who are long-time listeners of the sub may remember I actually corralled the entire tech team onto the second episode for that big group interview. And basically, I was talking to them on Skype. I linked them the thread, and I was like, guys, this is a serious emergency. Can you sort this out? And they thought that was pretty funny. And then when they got to the part that Major Nelson commented on the thread, and they just lost it. They said, Larry commenting on the thread, and all he says is, will not repro. And anyone who's in the business meet, I'm not going to reproduce that. and so anyway, that thread was really popular. Everyone had a laugh. The reason I mentioned the tech guys, not just because of that, is because they thought it was hilarious that this guy actually mentioned Chatterbait, because they said people have been sort of tiptoeing around it, trying to complain to Microsoft they were saying certain websites are not displaying, and certain chat programs were not working. But this guy just came out and said it yo guys, where's Chatterbait? Anyway, so the thread went away and it came back again, and it was OP. Actually, the same guy posted again. So he's obviously been checking. He posted that Chatterbait is finally working again, and straight away, Major Nelson chimed in and said, guys, I'm going to pass this on to the tech team as issue fixed based on user feedback. So congratulations, Xbox One.
Congrats.
You did it, guys.
Putting the priority in there, you know?
So I haven't had a chance to actually test this myself. But yeah.
I'll let you
well
guys
done,
know later.
Everyone. Yeah, thanks, Clay. Take one for the team.
I mean,
but yeah, no, seriously, that's funny. And this is what I love about the sub. That stuff like this can happen, and we can actually have people from Microsoft not only fix this, very important issue, but actually joke around with it and not just joke with us, but joke internally. And I think it's something that don't get me wrong, I love Nintendo so much. I give them so much of my money, and they just won't love me back. Please notice me, senpai.
Rhys, what I would love to have been is a fly on the wall of the dev team doing, what I'm assuming is like a weekly review of the top reported issues.
Yeah.
Someone's like, all right, let's prioritize the issues. What are we going to work on this week? Well, guys, there's a really, really critical issue that we need to fix.
Yeah. And the thing I was saying was the same, based on the same thing you're saying is, I love Nintendo and, Sony is a perfectly good company, but both of them are really missing that sort of human element that you get, at least on our subreddit, because, we have all these Microsoft people and they're out there posting memes and jokes, just like everyone else. And just the fact that this can happen, as you say, being a fly on the wall, so guys, what's the most important thing? Because there are people whose jobs it is Microsoft's community managers and Microsoft's social media managers and influence managers. Their job is to monitor the internet and find out what people are talking about. So they would have actually had to bring that to the higher ups, the CEOs at a big meeting. So what's the internet talking about this week? Chatterbait.
The heck is that?
and then one of the other ones is like, damn it, get us working again.
Yeah.
I think on that note, we should probably get the hell off this podcast and probably never speak again.
Yes.
But yeah, it was so nice to have you back on the pod, Clay.
I know,
and
we
I
should be back on more often here now that my work isn't so absolutely wild and crazy. Well, fingers crossed. But for another week, thanks again to Graeme Boyd for joining us this week. If you guys can take a moment to leave us some feedback on the pod, come on into the subreddit, leave us some feedback on the episode and what you guys like and what you'd like to hear. And we've got some more great interviews lined up here for the upcoming weeks, so make sure to stay tuned. But until next week, Xbox, turn off.
You're listening to Xbox One Party Chat Podcast, the official podcast of the Xbox One subreddit.
Let's do this.